5555. Make it simple. You notice I didn't put any hyphens or anything. The system will automatically do that later on if we print a report or whatever. And hit the enter key. We're done on this part right here. We've got that information on the client. Next we go into the tabs across the top. We don't use other client data, at least right now, not right now, so we'll skip that. We'll use the mouse here to move to household. Here is where we put in people in the household. Let's say Tom is married, we said, so let's say his wife's name is Mary, and I got Dick and Harry, 2 children. So, you'll notice up here that the client's name, last name is here, and his first name. We don't enter that here again. It's already entered. We've got, if you notice, we have one person in the household, and it's male, down here. Now, they're all parishes. So if that's the case, and sometimes it's not, sometimes they'll have different last names, so you'll have to enter the last names. But if they're all parish, we want to take, and it's simple, we will copy the parish and we'll paste it down into the last name. So, if you just go up in this field and double click, it highlights it for you. Now, there's two ways you can copy this thing. I use a shortcut, which I'll show you, but I'll show you both ways. So under parish, I'm going to right click on the mouse, it's going to bring down a drop down, and one option here is copy. So hit copy, then move the mouse down to the last name, and right click again, and you can paste. That's one way. I'll show you in the next bracket. An easier way for me may not be for you. From here on now, we'll hit the enter key, move across the first name, that's Mary. Enter key, skip Social Security. Enter key, sex, female, F. Race we skip, we don't ask for race either. Relationship, here we can move down with the arrow keys, or we can use the mouse, pick the one we want. I'll hit the enter key in there because I use the arrow keys. We need a birth date here. So let's say her birth date is 11/21/1970. So I put 11/21/70. I don't have to enter the 19 here. Hit the enter key. Her age is 41 years, as you see. Hit the enter key again, and we'll go back to parish again. Now here I told you there was another shortcut where you use besides using the mouse, and it is called the control. Hold down the control key, hit a V, and you got it right there. Hit the enter key. Here's Tom. Tom is a male. Tom is a child. Now here I'm just going to hit the C for child. It brings it up if you notice. Hit the enter key again. His birth date is January 1st. And I'm going to do this intentionally, show you what happens in the system. I'm going to have it January 1st. And let's say it's 2000. Just put a 0. No, 2000. So put a 0. 12 years old. The system knows what today's date is and the older date, and it calculates the age automatically. Now you notice there's one right here called disabled. Let's say that Tom is disabled. We could click that button and then reports would show a disabled person. If they're not disabled, leave it alone. Enter, enter, down to the next one. Get another control V, but I can do that, or just show you, you can do it this way too, and go paste. Either way, it's up to you. Hit the enter key. This is Dick. Enter key, Dick's a male, hit M. Dick's a child, we'll select it with this way now, so show you, does either way. Hit the enter key, and let's put in a birth date of 5/30. And this is going to be 2001, so let's put a 1. System knows, hey, put a 1 in, it's going to be 2000 something, or whatever you put in. So he's 10 years old. Okay. You'll notice here, if you look down here, we got a total household of 3 it shows. That's because the system hasn't got Dick in there quite yet. In the count down here. It's in the system. But if we hit calculate here, it shows we got 4 in the household, we got 3 males, 1 female. We have over here the range count. This is age, 0 through 17, we have 2. So that's 2 children. 18 through 54, we have 2. So that's 2 children. Now if we had a senior in here, we'll add 1. With the senior here, 55 to 103, it would indicate that as well. So let's say the grandparent is living with them. Okay, so we'll put up, and grandparent's last name, this is Mary's father. Okay, and his last name is Wilson. So we type Wilson. Let's say his first name is Aunt Al. Okay. Again, we just hit the enter key, skip through there, hit the male. Skip here, skip here. Now, it's a grandparent. So if we look here down, we find grandparent. Click on it. Hit the enter key. And his birth date, he was born, let's say, December 31st, 1909. Now this will make him very old. Now I said you put a 9 in. If we put a 9 in here, it's going to say 2009, which is not right. So in some cases, especially when they're born before 1935, right in there, you've got to put the whole date in. So it's 1909. Makes him 102 years old. Okay. Now, I told you, calculate. If you didn't do that, let's say you got them all right, you're just moving right along. If you move over to the next tab, which is incoming expenses that we use, that calculation would automatically happen. We'll go back and I'll show you that. So now we get 5. So here's the screen you want to get when you're writing out this little slip for the pantry. Let's say this is the first one, so it'd be number 1. And you put down 2 children. So write down 2 children, which is indicated under the range count right here. And we have 2 adults. We have 1 senior. Well, the senior and adults are the same. To the pantry, they're adults. So we have 3 adults with a total of 5 in the household. You notice what happened here on this date right here. That's an indication to us if we're going, and later on I'll show you this, if we have an existing client come in and we see that in yellow, ask them their birth date. The birth date might be right there, but it could be we entered something in there just to make sure that we get in the right age groups for our reports. So if there were a lot of them that were missing, and so we have a lot of them that are entered with this yellow background, so make sure you check the birth date. Some of them will be on the first, obviously. Next, I said income and expenses. Here, definitely do not use the mouse in this screen. Messes things up. Okay. Let's say no one's working in the household, so we would just hit the enter key to go down. They're receiving food stamps. Let's say we're receiving $100 in food stamps. So you put 100 and hit the enter key. No child support, no unemployment. Let's say, well, grandfather, I'm going to back up with the arrow key. Grandfather's got Social Security and is receiving $550. And we have a disabled person, as we showed. So SSI, let's say, is $674. And that is all they get. That's all their income. Now, you don't have to calculate totals. You just go to the next screen, but I'll show you what happens if we update our calculate totals. It shows the total income down here. And we would compare this to the poverty level. And if they're over, we advise the client that, yes, you're over the poverty level. We'll help you now. But in the future, There's other places you can go, or if you're really desperate, you can come in for food. Next one is financial assistance. What this is if we're paying an electric bill, or we're paying a gas part of a gas bill, or part of a water bill. Let's say a client came in and, can you help me with utilities? Well, one thing is we're going to do this one time a year, and that's a year from January 1st through December 31st. This client has not received any utilities because there's nothing in here, and it's a new client as well. So they came in, they needed help with a water bill. You notice it has a date right here, and this is where the cursor, don't enter a date there, just leave that alone. Go over here and click on whatever utility it is. Okay, it says water. Go down and with a mouse, click water. Hit the enter key. Not requested. Well, let's say their water bill is $100. So we'll enter 100 there. Hit the enter key. We are going to provide a maximum right now of $75, and may change. We sometimes lower that due to the funds left in the budget. But $75. So hit 75. Hit the enter key again. We don't put check number. You would have the idea. Know what the check number is. This information we'll use at the end of the month. We'll create reports on what we've done and check it against our secretary and treasurer. Next is non-financial assistance. This is where they're coming in for food. Again, the cursor's over in date. Don't enter a date. Just click over here and say we provide them food. And you're done entering a new client. I told you about these dates. You see this one still doesn't have one. But the system's automatically putting in today's date. You see it here. Now move over here to the financial assistance. You see it here. So don't enter dates in that area. We are done with this client. You click on this little door. That's a door.